Normal morning, come in, like someone writing stuff up on the board and just making sure we're getting prepared for it. So I actually need to set up rings because we've got people doing ring planks or some modification of planks. And clients start texting. It's actually more than a full-time job, because if you actually have like a really good relationship with your clients, like you should, they actually have access to you through email and text messages. So it's not a full-time job. It's like a more than full-time job. It's really rewarding because those clients become your friends, and like there's like an awesome relationship that goes along with that. So it's a full-time job plus, but I really value those relationships. Today there's back squats in the program. There's also front leaning rests on rings, but depending on how many people, we not have any racks for people to do planks. So I'll set them up in the other room where people come in here and utilize this room as well throughout the day. Pretty fortunate at Invictus we have such a large, awesome area. All right, so if you guys are going performance, or Katie, if you haven't followed our program before, you have two options, okay? You have a blue pill and you have a green pill. One is not better than the other, it's just different stuff, okay? If you guys are going performance, we're working on back squats, working up to a 1 rep at 90%, then backing it back up to 70-80 and getting a 70-80%, 6 to 10 reps that way. And fitness, I'll run through all that for you guys. So just show me your hands. Who's gonna go like back squats today? Awesome, everyone wants to go on Bulgarian split squats. Sweet. Okay, that gives me a good starting point. So give me a circle, guys. PJ, if you would, you set up a Bulgarian. Now, what I really like about this is when I kick back, I can actually make my back foot active. So I want everything engaged here. Don't just think about legs, right? Everything has to be engaged. So just how I had you guys radiating tension on those squats, I want you guys thinking this. We're pulling ourselves down, hamstrings, driving back to the quads, but my back foot stays engaged. Now, when I start up here, I'm hooking. And now I'm gonna pull myself down this way. So I'm pulling. I should feel nice tension through this front hip flexor while this hamstring's on. I don't come all the way down. I stay engaged. See the difference? Engaged. Drive. 1001, 1002, 1003. Drive. 1001, 1002, 1003. Drive. Big things. I need this other knee back here. I need you guys squeezing in. So what we see is a lot of people start to drive out this way. Okay? So I want your knees, I want you guys to duck in. Okay? If we choose to go on a bench here, okay? I want you guys breaking the ankle right on the edge here. Okay? I still want activation, so dig your toes into the bench. And we can do the same thing. Well, there's a lot of like squatting or double knee bending today. So we really want to make sure that their hips are warm, right? But like if you saw where I did the squat thing, right, is because you want the tissue to be properly prepared. Not everyone squats in the same way. So we want to make sure they're actually able to, their system is ready to handle the load, right, and whatever movement they're going to do for their body. So that's why I think it's really important to really have them practice going wide, have them practice going narrow. The other thing is like I put so much value on the warm-ups because a lot of these people, maybe they don't do any of that throughout their day. Maybe this is the only time they move, right? And the rest of the day they're sitting at a desk. So I have a tendency to kind of go longer warm-ups just because I think the preparation is so important to actually start loading up. All right, let's go guys. Don't be afraid to load those up. Posture your pelvis, there. Now I want you to think about driving the knees straight down. Don't let the chest angle change. Pull, 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 pause. Don't, pull this back. And drive up. Good, go again. Good, tight. Irradiate. Yeah, that's gonna help engage everything in. Seriously, good. Now pull, 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 pull. Pause, that's the end of your range. Drive up. There, that's better. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of locking everything together, right? Just look at it, like he's way more engaged. And he's not losing his lumbar like he was in the bottom. That was a great correction, dude. Good job.
20 seconds each side or something?
Yeah, that's fine. And keep your head up. And you gotta really remember working on the shoulder blades, how we're keeping those. Yeah, good correction. Movements, right? You gotta make sure you have the basic movement down before you start adding complexity to it. Right? You have to have a normal split squat before you go to an elevated split squat. Okay? You have to do a solid plank before you can start doing like funky stuff with the plank. So let's make sure that we can actually stack shoulders, okay, directly over elbows, elbows directly over wrists, and I can actually maintain this before I start adding things to it. So now, watch your elbows, see how you're, don't let yourself, yeah. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to suck these guys back. Yeah, push it, no, push in my hand, push me away. Good, pause right there. I want you to hold this position. That's good. Core and glute engaged. So make sure you can hold that for the whole time, and then we'll talk about adding complexity to the movement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, that's about it.
All right, good. But that looked really good. I think what people want to do is they want to do exactly what's on the board, and what people need to realize is that's made for like a random avatar, and that may not be what suits their avatar's needs. So I really like to encourage people to do what's right for them. Just because we wrote something up on the board doesn't mean that's what's right for them. And that's kind of our job as coaches, to help people understand that, like, look, that's not right for everyone. And you have to have a little accountability on yourself to realize where you really are. And I think it's jobs as coaches is kind of help people get to that point where they really understand where they are in their fitness journey, so they can make smart choices when they're not in here with us. Hi guys. Okay. I'm gonna go here. Dane, FSS, good. Steve. So all my clients that are like semi-privates, I have their programming lined out that I do ahead of time. So I at least have a template of what's going on. I can track their progress, or know any issues that we had that maybe they need to be shored up in other programming. Yeah, it's a way to keep us on track and make sure that their goals still stay in the forefront, so we know exactly how to get them to where they need to go. Okay guys, let's go sideline kick card. Let's drop one more mat down. You guys got towels? I think everyone can benefit from semi-private or private coaching, because everyone has specific needs. One size does not fit all. So a lot of these guys just have, like, I see them once or twice a week, and we focus on specific things, and then they may not be able to be addressed in classes, and then the rest of the day they go about their normal stuff. Or we give them homework or like other things to like work on and focus on. But yeah, I think everybody can benefit from privates or semi-privates, to actually have a coach. Like, everyone needs a coach. Coaches need coaches. So what I'd like you to move work top down.
Okay, so go down on one side.
No, it's down on both. So we go down. I want you starting here, right? So I want you to start here.
No.
Okay. Here, right? Let's sink. Then we're gonna go down a little bit. Sink all the way in like a global mash, right? Then you're gonna go down. Then when you get to here, I actually want it to come over. Yep. So it's gonna trace that, like that pelvic girdle all the way here, and then you're gonna go breathe in here a few times, and then we're gonna start and we do the same thing back here.
So kind of two half views.
Yeah, two half views.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
This is one thing I really like about being able to do semi-privates and privates is a lot of times the group classes, we don't have the time to be able to take and apply this much detail and attention to the client. And like, really, this is what he needs, this focused attention. So he has had a lot of like lower back issues. A lot of it stems from like being really tight in that anterior chain. So just having him kind of mash that out, and then like, I really like to have a philosophy of like expanding, right, controlling, and then loading or exploring that range of motion. And for him, like being able to expand that anterior chain a little bit helps him open up so he can actually achieve some other things and really eliminate a lot of pain. So even though it may not look like he's doing a ton of stuff, he's actually doing a lot of work down there. Would you agree, Dane? Doing some work down there?
Yeah. We're gonna do a whole hour of nothing today.
Yeah, it's awesome when nothing becomes something.
Nothing.
So he's actually had was it motocross where you shattered it?
Off-road racing.
So he's off-road racing and he had a huge scapula, it like shattered it, right?
Took it completely off the shoulder blade, so it was a horizontal crack, and then it sheared it up to the shoulder structure.
So he has some major issues there. So we like to make sure that the scapula is tracking the way it should be tracking. And it looks a lot better than when we started. Yeah. Good thing. That's a lot better than when we started. It really is. Good. The want to learn is one of the most important attributes of being a good coach, in my opinion, because everything's changing. You're only as good as your experience, right? And that's one thing I really like about this place is you're always learning from so many different people, so many different perspectives, because what's right for someone isn't always right for somebody else. So the more stuff we can learn, right, the more tools we have in our toolbox, right, opens your perception and can change your perspective on every situation. So learning is like, it's like one of the most important things, like empathy and caring, and then the want to learn. All right, Alex. So those pills and rails? So it's really a common problem where people actually don't get actual depression in their scapula. Everyone lives in this like elevated, protracted state, so it's not uncommon. It's just knowing, I guess, just experience, knowing what to look for and what to feel like, whereas lat isn't really engaging and helping set that scapula back and down. Let's go front forward, Alex. So set this guy back and down, so keep this guy on. Crush. Yep, now push forward. And this side actually works better than the other side. Would you agree, Alex? Yep. Yeah, it's much better. Push away, separate, and squeeze. So 10 reps. And you can feel like, so it's important like when you have clients to have a tactile touch, so you know like what's supposed to be working, what's not supposed to be working. So if his upper trap was completely dominant right now, it means his scapula would be elevated, and that's not what we're looking for. She actually can feel him working really hard here. Good.
Yeah, I can't even. Like on that side, I can feel it doing it. On the other side, there's like, well, it's like I'm missing a muscle. You know what I mean?
So what I want you to do, I want you to think about this, right? And you know what this is supposed to feel like. So that gives you an idea of what this is supposed to feel like. So I want you to start to mirror it and try to mirror the same feeling on this side to that side. And right now it's just like your body doesn't know how to utilize that stuff. So it's these small moves that are so important to help your body remember. So we're looking for that cramping feeling. We want that neurological cue of like, hey, what is this and what am I supposed to be doing here? So now I want you to go extension, yeah. it's important that we try to get proper movement, because that's the input you want. Like just doing shitty movement all the time, or like improper movement all the time is inputting the wrong patterns into your body. Right? For this, you want to input proper movement, so that when we're not just isolating this, your body works better as a unit. So you want to have like independence of that joint before you can have interdependence of the entire system. So right now we're just trying to make sure his scapula moves like a scapula before we have it combined with like shoulder stuff and spine stuff. Got it? Okay, now we're gonna kind of tie things together a little bit. Main motivation for me, my coach. I think the biggest thing is like you get to positively affect people and help them to become pain-free. That's my motivation. Everything else comes after that. Like if people are in pain, like physical pain, like they go through their day in pain, like it doesn't matter like how strong you are, how fast you are, how powerful you are. If you're in pain, you're not going to go through any of it, right? You just want to eliminate the pain. That becomes your primary thing. So my number one goal for everyone is eliminate their pain. And then once we achieve that, then we can build other things. But that's my primary for helping anybody, is just help them be pain-free. What we miss a ton of in the fitness community is a mind-body or mind-muscle connection. Like if I told someone to flex your bicep, they could do it. But if I told them to flex their external or internal hip rotators, they couldn't do it. Like there's no connection there. People don't know exactly what it's supposed to feel like to move properly. And so if we actually had to prioritize the general physical attributes, I think the number one thing is mobility. And the idea of mobility is not flexibility. Mobility is you actively controlling your range of motion, be able to pull yourself in and out of each shape that you want to make with your body. Once you have that connection, you are able to do pretty much whatever you want, because you know how your body's supposed to be functioning. We're missing that. I feel like we're missing that connection in the fitness arena, especially in CrossFit. It's not really about setting an example. It's like you gotta move your body. Movement is medicine. And so the more you have the ability to move, right, you should utilize that. Because once you lose the ability to move, right, it's all downhill. And that's when pain starts setting in. So you gotta move. So even though I've been here since 5:30 this morning, right? And I wanna go home, it's important that I move my body and utilize it. Otherwise I'll be probably sore tomorrow than if I actually worked out. So I don't know if it's really about setting an example. I think it's more about just it's more beneficial for me to actually make sure I work out and I move, whatever that is for the day, Today more will be a strength biased, so I'll probably do a lot of sled work, sandbag work, and then some breathing work. So I'll pull a sled, and then some sandbag squats, and then recover through nasal breathing on the assault bike or walking. They're called ELDOAs. It means loads in French, and it's basically decompression stretches for the spine. And there's one for every vertebrae in your spine. One that is up on the wall, and that's for L5S1, which is where a lot of people have impingements in. So anytime you load, or like before you go to bed, it's vital to do those, especially with as much sitting as we do today. You want to create space in there and let healing fluid actually get into the joint. It's very important. ELDOAs, look them up. Like the big thing about CrossFit is, like CrossFit is supposed to be a general physical preparedness type of system, and I think we've kind of gotten away from that. So like mobility is a huge key to keeping you fit and functional through life. Like if you don't have the mobility component, you're not gonna be able to achieve a lot of things. Like you can't put your body into certain shapes that it needs to do to perform certain tasks. And so like spinal decompression or just these different movements of learning how to get into certain shapes that we don't normally do and what requires for survival in society is very important. And I would say even more important than actually doing what is considered your typical CrossFit. Once you have the mobility and your tissues have adapted to what you can do, then you can apply the intensity and the load, but you gotta make sure that tissue is prepared, and you do that through active mobility. Mobility meaning controlling your range of motions, not flexibility, not sloppy joints. You want active mobility. I've seen it through a ton of my clients. Like you improve their mobility, they're active, like what they can control, pain start going away. They start able to function more like a human being, and yeah, their pain goes away. So now they can do whatever they want. So a lot of what's led me along this journey is my own pain from doing CrossFit since 2003, and just learning as I go. How do I correct myself? How do I fix myself? Because a lot of that mobility aspect's been kind of left off, and people really didn't know. And so a lot of this is just my own journey trying to fix myself and learning through that, and now I'm able to help a lot of other people. Bye guys. Really, you work with some good people. You know what else is really cool about this job is like just because I've been here so long, a lot of it's like you're watching people develop, like you're watching these younger coaches develop, as well as you're watching the community grow. Like we've seen people come, like 2 separate members, end up getting married, having kids. Like it's like Invictus is a staple, or like even the coaches in their lives are these staple, and their life continually grows, right? But we're like a constant and help them like get through certain things, and like there to support them. It's a pretty cool thing. Pretty grateful to be a part of it. Hey guys, thanks for coming along on our little trip today, a day in a life of my coaching adventures. I hope maybe I provided a little bit of insight for you guys. If you have any questions on like what I did or directions or have any problems, please reach out to me at nick@crossfitinvictus.com, and I'll be happy to help you guys find direction, or if I don't have the answer, I'll be happy to look it up. Later.